Aries, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Aries love reading. Today we're going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in December 2025. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Aries and their romantic person of interest. Okay, we're taking two, no biggie. What's going on with you, Aries? It's been a minute. What's going on with Aries as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them? Okay. Well, hey, we're not taking any more here. We already got an extra one. That is plenty for me. Oh, snap. What is going on with your person, Aries? What's going on with Aries' romantic person of interest? Okay, we're taking an extra one again. No big deal. Well, let's see what we got going on here. The overall energy of this reading, Two of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. Twos are choices, and this is a choice between two physical things where I can't have both of them at the same time. So it's about weighing the options, looking at the pros and cons. Take this one or that one. Do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? It's some sort of opposing thing where I have to pick something, but it's like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy, not fully decided all the way yet. Sometimes in the negative sense, this can represent someone juggling two different people. Well, I got Death right below that, Scorpio Major Arcana card. This is an ending to something. It's something dying. And there's a painful transition period, a painful transformation period that follows the ending here. And then we got some more kind of conflicted energy. Five of Wands right behind that, Leo energy. This is an internal conflict. Wands are about desires. So this is a conflict in my desires. In other words, a piece of me wants this and another piece of me wants that. And now I'm kind of torn and conflicted. This is like scattered kind of an energy here. Sometimes that will represent someone might be juggling two people and they're having a problem deciding which one do I want, and they're kind of torn both ways. Sometimes that can be an internal conflict between the two of you where they're kind of pulling this way and you're kind of pulling that way. Instead of you guys pulling in the same direction, you're playing tug of war with each other. So that's the gist of what this is going to talk to me about. The mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in December 2025, Aries. It doesn't always affect you the same way. Sometimes they do this and then you feel the consequences. That can be vice versa. Sometimes they'll say or do something and you start to feel or act this way, or vice versa. But we got this Page of Cups, Seven of Cups here. Pages are messengers and cups are about love and emotion. So this is news and messages and communications about love and emotions, lovey-dovey messages, flirtatious behavior. It can sometimes represent an apology. This can be like, it's the first stage of the court cards. So this can be like the early stages of communicating about emotional stuff, early stages of a new connection where we're just talking at this point. I got Seven of Cups with that Scorpio energy of options and choices and confusion about the options and choices. There's a lot of different cups here. There's a lot of different ways this could play itself out. There's a lot of emotions involved. This is about not wanting to pick the wrong cup and make some kind of a mistake that I'll regret later. It's also an illusionary kind of an energy. It's not only hard to tell which one of these should I pick, it's hard to tell which of these cups has something real inside it and which isn't. Sometimes this will be someone's emotions clouding their judgment, clouding their decision making. Could be somebody saying all the right lovey-dovey stuff and that's making my choices difficult here. I've got a choice here is the overall energy between two things. Sometimes this is someone who has other options and choices and they could be communicating with another option and a choice. That could be what we're talking about. I think that might be what we're talking about with potentially juggling two people, being torn and conflicted about which one do I want. There's an ending in the middle of those two things. Right below the surface of all that is the Lovers. This is Gemini's Major Arcana card. A long time ago, before it was even called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice. So this card is about the interconnectedness between people and how one person's choices affect the other person and vice versa. It can represent a choice about this connection. It can represent a choice between two different lovers. Right behind that, I have the Ace of Pentacles, a new physical opportunity presenting itself. That's probably how we get to this juggling two different opportunities here. Let's take a look at this shared energy. Let's clarify that. Tell me more about Page of Cups, Seven of Cups. Why is that the shared energy affecting Aries and their person here in December 2025, please? Okay. Starting to think that I wasn't going to get any cards there. Below the surface of that energy, Two of Swords, Libra energy. Twos are choices. This is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet at this stage. The person in the card is wearing a blindfold, and that blindfold can sometimes represent that I don't have enough information available to me in order to make my decision, which is why I haven't made it yet. Sometimes that blindfold can represent someone having blinders on. In other words, there's something about this that I don't want to see, something about it that I don't want to look at, that I don't want to be true. But avoiding it, being in denial of it, is kind of preventing a decision from being made here. Looks like that's been happening for a while. Seven of Pentacles right below that, Taurus energy. This is a period of time. Now, sometimes this is a period of time where I'm pausing to reflect and take stock of this whole connection, this whole situation. I'm trying to decide, is this ever going to grow into the 10 of Pentacles that I really want, where we combine our lives together and build a life together? Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, effort, and energy into it? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out? Maybe I should cut my losses and move on. So that might be the choice that needs made and hasn't been made. It might be a case where you're going back and forth about that and whether it's dead or not, and maybe even conflicted about that. But it's also possible that we have another person in the background here. When I clarify Page of Cups, Seven of Cups, I get the Star, Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords. The Star is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the cards. So you don't make it to the Star without going through the Tower first, where something important in your life collapses and falls apart all around you. The Tower usually represents the collapse of the old, and the Star represents the hope about the new, hope about the future. Now, this can sometimes represent hope that we can heal the connection, but maybe not being sure if we can because it seems to be dead. Next, I have the Four of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. This is an energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. Maybe wanting to hold on to the hope that this isn't dead after all, and the hope that we can heal it and bring it back. But then probably at the same time not wanting to make a mistake here. We've got Seven of Swords next, Aquarius energy. This is lying, cheating, deception, sneaking around behind someone's back, trying to get away with something that I shouldn't be trying to get away with. Now, it's not the only meaning of the card. You can see the guy in the card is walking away with 5 swords, and in tarot, the 5 of swords is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. So this can represent not wanting to be hurt, hence stealing the swords so they can't be used against me, so they can't be used to hurt me. It can also represent leaving something behind because he can only carry 5 of the 7 swords and he has to leave these other 2 behind. Interestingly enough, the Two of Swords is still looking at me on the bottom of the deck, that decision that needs made but hasn't been made yet. Some sort of pain involved in that. Not uncommon at all in the early stages of these readings. I don't fully understand exactly what it's trying to tell me yet. I will come back to that shared energy as I go through your energy, Aries, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again as I go through your person's energy. For you, the first card is the most important. We got the 5 of Swords. Central for your energy, Ace of Swords. And the final card for you came out as 2, 6 of Swords, and 9 of Cups. In a love reading, I don't really want to see swords, and I've got 2 swords here when I clarified the shared energy, and 3 of your 4 cards are swords. First card, Five of Swords, Aquarius energy. I just referenced that when I was telling you one of the other meanings of the Seven of Swords. At its core, it is a mentally and psychologically painful or situation event taking place. Fives are conflict. Sometimes this can be a spoken conflict, like a big argument, a big fight that ends things. Sometimes, most of the time, this represents a betrayal of some kind. It can even represent a person who has this winning at all costs mentality, like, I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to get what I want. And if you happen to get hurt in that process, well, sorry about your luck, Aries. I'm taking care of myself. Not uncommon also that the first card ends up being something from your person showing up over here on your side because whatever they're up to is affecting you so strongly. But let's take a look at this Five of Swords. Why is that the first card here for Aries in this connection for December 2025? Okay. We'll take it. Come here. Well, makes sense why I was seeing holding on to something here. Bottom of the deck, below the surface. Excuse me, if this Five of Swords energy, we get the Emperor. This is the Aries Major Arcana card. This is an energy of control. Taking control, taking charge of a situation. This is the master manifester in the sense of it's someone who has all the tools, abilities, and resources to put together a plan to get what they want and then execute the plan to get what they want. It's about taking control. This is the person who's running the show, who's calling the shots, who's making the rules, setting the boundaries. Very rarely is this the person that I'm reading for. Most of the time, it ends up being the other person or some external person who's actually running the show here. It's hard for me to understand if you are actually the one in control. Why would we have this Five of Swords energy here, like this painful situation or event, unless you're maliciously trying to hurt another person, which I don't really think that's the case based on what I'm seeing. Now, below the surface of this Emperor, we get the King of Wands. This is Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what they want. They don't take no for an answer. They don't let obstacles and roadblocks get in their way. This is someone who goes and gets what they want. They're either going to find a way or they're going to make a way. It's someone who's very driven and motivated and determined. It's also the top tier of the wand suit, which is about passion and desire and sexual energy. So it's someone who's very driven and motivated in that regard most of the time too. Yeah, and then I got Three of Swords right behind it. This is Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. The third energy is not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be. It's kind of looking like it is. I've got betrayal here. I've got what could be juggling two people. I saw internal conflict and a choice between lovers, a new physical opportunity showing up. I've got the very passion-driven King. I've got someone here communicating lovey-dovey with options and choices, and I've got what looks like sneaky deceptive behavior happening here. And in front of all that is like the hope that we can heal it and not wanting to let go of it. When I clarify the Five of Swords, normally I get three, I got five here. I got Temperance, Ten of Pentacles, the Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Cups again. Temperance is the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of patience. It's also a recalibration kind of an energy. I get this card when something is severely out of whack, and this is pointing out the need to like rebalance something, recalibrate something, make it so it's more evened out and just right again. Sometimes this can represent reconciliation. Excuse me. Water represents love. And here the love has been separated into two different cups and she's recombining it back together. So this can represent getting back together, maybe wanting to recalibrate this painful thing that has happened here. This is usually not supposed to be an energy of let's recalibrate the connection as much as this is supposed to be an internal recalibration for you, especially when I've got you like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, can't make up my mind on something, going through some painful transition period and then having some internal conflict. This is supposed to be a recalibration of you. Next, to clarify, Five of Swords is the Ten of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy. This is maximum stability, abundance, prosperity. This is everyone's goal in the physical reality. It's also the combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and resources to build a life together. I get this card a lot for people either when they're married or when they're like engaged or living together or going down the path toward combining lives together. Maybe there's this idea of still trying to be patient with it, or maybe trying to recombine the separated love and get this back together here. Maybe there's the hope still for that and not wanting to let go of it. Next, I get the Hierophant. This is Taurus Major Arcana energy. This is a card of commitment. It's about being fully committed to something bigger than yourself, taking it to the next level. This gets referred to as a marriage card as well. I get this card for people when they're married, living together. You know, like I've got two of those cards here. Fully committed to the relationship, if nothing else. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're legally married to this person, although you could be. This is probably just talking about being fully committed to the relationship and to the combining together of lives. But then I get this Ace of Pentacles show up, which we saw about 5 cards deep in the overall energy here, right behind the Lovers. This is a new physical opportunity presenting itself. It's not an idea or a concept. This is a physical thing that I can touch. And that's probably how we're getting to juggling. Page of Cups, which is out here in the shared energy, affecting both of you with the options and the choices here. Looking like this person has more than just you, and this is probably them being flirty or communicating about emotions, lovey-dovey messages. Central for your energy, Aries, is the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth, the sword of clarity. It's the sword you would use to make a decision with. It's also the sword you would use to sever a relationship with. Tell me about the Ace of Swords, please. Why is that out here? Central for Aries energy in this connection for December 2025. Well, it's telling on them. Below the surface of that sword of truth, Two of Swords. Libra energy, a decision that needs made that hasn't been made yet. And a period of time where that's been going on. Three of Pentacles is below that, Capricorn energy of teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value. That is normally laying the foundations for this Ten of Pentacles that we're seeing over here, doing the groundwork for that. But this is where we're both working on something together. Maybe that's part of the decision that never got made, is they weren't necessarily showing up the same way that you were. Could also be that there has been this physical opportunity and the truth about that been going on for a period of time, and maybe you haven't wanted to see it because of this idea of building something together. That might be why I'm still seeing this hope and this holding on tightly to something that I don't want to let go of when there's sneaky deceptive stuff going on. When I clarify Ace of Swords, I get the Empress, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, and Justice. Very clear what the choice is that's not being made. The Empress is the mother of the tarot deck. She's always pregnant. She's always giving birth to something. She represents the birth of something new, as in like the birth of a new relationship. That looks like the thing that's out of balance here, that's out of whack, that needs recalibrated. I get Queen of Cups and Queen of Wands next. Two different feminine energies, two different queens here. That's probably what the choice is that hasn't been made. That's probably what this juggling type of an energy is about. Which one of these two do I want? This would be Cancer energy for Queen of Cups. This is Aries energy for Queen of Wands. This is someone that there's a lot of love and emotions for. This is usually someone wanting to give their love and emotions, but she's got a lid on top of her cup, which is a way to protect her emotions from getting contaminated. She doesn't want to get emotionally hurt. Now, maybe that's you. Maybe you've got an emotional attachment to the idea of combining lives together, building a life together, living together, going down that kind of a path. But then when I get Queen of Wands with it, I don't know that that's a conflict in your energy as much as that's two different people. Normally, the Queen of Wands for me ends up being the other woman. It ends up being, it's the fire element queen, the hot queen. So this is usually the person that there's the passion and desire and attraction and sexual energy for. Remember, we did see the King of Wands at some point already. This would be the counterpart in the passion and desire. And then that card is sitting right here beside the Hierophant, the commitment, the marriage, but notice looking in the opposite direction. Next I get Justice, which is the Libra Major Arcana card. Excuse me, I'm all choked up today. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The sword that's in the card is this sword that I'm clarifying for you right now. Here it is used to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance can be restored, and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. Like what's supposed to happen can happen. This card shows up for me to point out the fact that something unfair, unjust, unbalanced is going on, and there is a need to correct that. It's tied directly to this fire element queen here. It's also tied directly to this new physical opportunity that's presenting itself. That would appear to be the new physical opportunity. After all, another person is a physical thing. Final card for you, Aries, came out as 2. We got 6 of Swords and 9 of Cups. 6 of Swords is Aquarius energy. This is an energy of moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind you and moving forward into the future toward what you want. It's the card that comes immediately after this 5 of Swords, this mental, psychologically painful thing that's happened, a betrayal. At this stage, that pain has already occurred. The betrayal has already happened. This is, you can't change what's already been done. And this is about moving away from the painful thing and moving forward. There is an implied choice with that, and I'm still got 2 choice cards looking right at me here. The choice here is because you can't change what's already happened. Your only real control is what do you do moving forward from here. Am I going to move forward and carry the burden that this painful thing has caused into my future with me so it keeps weighing me down and holding me back? Or do I carry forward the lesson I learned by going through that painful thing so that something like that never happens again? It's here with the 9 of Cups, which is Pisces energy. And this is a single energy. This is a step backwards from the 10 of Cups, that happily ever after, the happy fairy tale romance that we all want. This is a single energy, being emotionally single, emotionally by myself. In the positive sense, this can represent that you don't need another person to, quote, make you happy. You don't need someone else to show up and make you whole, because you already are happy. Your happiness comes from inside you, not outside of you. In the negative sense, this can represent dealing with someone who is all me, myself, and I, and they're really self-centered and overindulgent and self-indulgent, and my happiness is more important than your happiness. And I kind of got that feeling when I saw this 5 of Swords earlier. Like, it's all about me and me getting what I want, and that's the only thing that's important. Now, this could represent that if you're moving forward, you have this feeling that you're moving forward and leaving your happiness behind. Maybe your personal happiness is attached to this thing that you're moving away from now. So tell me more about the 6 of Swords, 9 of Cups combo. Why is that here the final card for Aries in this connection? Below the surface of that, Judgment. This is the most powerful decision card in the deck. This is passing a final verdict and judgment on something. In a relationship reading, this is usually calling it dead and over with, and there's no coming back. This can also sometimes represent reconciliation, as in resurrection. You see the angel is playing on this horn and she's calling the dead back from the grave. She's bringing them back to life. So this can be an energy of trying to bring this connection back because I've got my happiness attached to it. Could just as easily be the decision has already been made and it was made by the emperor here. Could be your person has already made the decision, which is kind of why you're in the single energy and moving forward away from this painful spot. Yeah, they made their decision with the wand. King of Wands is right back here again. It's the counterpart to this Queen of Wands that's out here. When I clarify Six of Swords, Nine of Cups, I get the Nine of Wands, Ace of Cups, Six of Wands. Nine of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is a walled-off defensive energy. It's also an energy of healing. This is the wounded warrior, hence this wall he's built around himself. It's a defense mechanism. It's a way to protect himself so he doesn't get hurt. I kind of felt that out here with Seven of Swords. I don't want to be hurt by these swords. I've got that out here with the Queen of Cups too. I don't want to be emotionally hurt, hence keeping the lid on my cup. This could just be your defense mechanisms popping off and your emotional walls coming up as a way to protect yourself. Could also be that you're viewing this birth of something new as the barrier that's in the way of you getting what you want. Maybe that's what you're viewing as the reason why you have to move forward. There's this idea of being patient and recalibrating it here too as well though. Next I got the Ace of Cups, new beginning in love and emotions. This is usually a new person showing up. Again, that's tied to this idea of that's the barrier that's in the way. Also right beside the Queen of Cups, which feels like you, but notice it's behind your back and you're facing away from it. It's probably what's going on. They were sneaking around behind your back. Had other options. You're over here looking at the combined together life, and meanwhile there's this new cup of love in the background. Final clarifier for Six of Swords, Nine of Cups is the Six of Wands. This is Leo energy. This is an energy of recognition. So sometimes this can be you getting recognized for something, but more often than not, this is you coming to some sort of a recognition. In other words, I'm having the aha moment where now I see something. Now I've got it figured out. That's tied to this new cup of love here. Also, though, we got that Queen of Wands behind your back here. So maybe you're not fully recognizing something yet. I still got that commitment out here in that same row. That's part of what this Seven of Cups is about in the shared energy. Options, choices, confusion about it. Clouds of smoke around the cups can represent emotions or clouding my judgment. And there's someone obscuring my vision, blowing a smoke screen, so maybe I can't see everything. And maybe my hope is the thing in this idea of wanting to hold on to it. Maybe that in and of itself is what clouds things up for you. What I do have here in the first row that's not fully complete is a new physical opportunity with some unfairness, some unjustness tied to that. Something that needs balanced out or cut away. And then the lovey-dovey communications. That is your energy in this connection for December 2025, Aries. Let's take a look at your person's energy. For them, the first card's the most important. We get the High Priestess. Central for their energy, Queen of Pentacles. And the final card for them came out as 2. We got the Devil and the Four of Wands. The High Priestess. This is your intuition. This is gut feelings, signs, synchronicities, dreams with messages in them. Seems like a good time to plug my new t-shirt. I made 3 new High Priestess t-shirts. You might want to go check those out. This is where you know something, but you don't really have any actual way of knowing it. It's not like you saw it with your own eyes. It's not like there's photographs or video evidence of it. This is just an internal knowing where I can feel it well before I can actually see it. So tell me more about the High Priestess, please. Why is the High Priestess the first card here for Aries person? Okay. Below the surface of that, Two of Swords, Libra energy, a decision that needs made that hasn't been made. The blindfold is screaming at me. Part of what makes dealing with your intuition so hard for most people is most of the time it's going to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. It's going to tell you shit that you don't want to be true. And when we don't have any actual facts to support it, it's just a hunch. It's just a feeling. And when it's telling us something we don't want to be true anyway, it's really hard to listen to your intuition. It's easier to just push it off to the side, sweep it under the rug, ignore it, pretend like it's not talking to you when it is. That might be what this Two of Swords is talking about with the blindfold. There might be an element of what your intuition has been telling you that you don't want to see. You don't want that to be the case. Yeah, it looks like what it's talking about is the Ace of Wands. This is a new beginning in passion and desire, a passionate new beginning. This is the phallic symbol of the deck. It's the male you-know-what, using it to do you-know-what, sexual energy, all that fun stuff. So either you've got the blinders on about that and your intuition's telling you that's going on, but you can't see it and you don't want it to be true. So I know your intuition's talking to you. What I don't know is whether or not you're hearing it or listening to it. When I clarify the High Priestess, Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Two of Cups, Eight of Swords. So here we are with all these swords again. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. This is very slow, monotonous, frustrating energy. This is usually a spot where I want something so bad I wanted it like yesterday. But instead of getting that kind of speed, I'm getting the snail's pace. I'm getting the slow, agonizing drip here. This can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do, but they just don't do it for some reason. Or a person who knows what they're not supposed to do and they do it any damn way. I've got your intuition kicking off here about them doing something they're not supposed to do. And then I get Ten of Swords with that, which might be why I don't want to hear what my intuition's saying, because if what it's telling me is actually true, this is the end. Ten of Swords is Gemini energy of a swift, painful ending. It's an ending sometimes that you don't see coming, which is why the swords are in your back. Sometimes it's an ending in betrayal, hence getting stabbed in the back. Your very first card out here is Betrayal. Next, I get the Two of Cups, Cancer energy. This is an emotional connection between two people, a love connection between two people. It's also a two, and twos are choices. So this can be a choice about this connection, whether it's dead or not, whether we can heal it or not, whether I should hold on to it or not. It can also represent a choice between two different cups of love. And I do have the new cup of love over here showing up on your side of the table behind your back, to where maybe you don't actually see it at that stage. Next, I get the Eight of Swords, Gemini energy. This is thinking about something over and over and over again on this repeating loop in your mind. Feeling stuck and trapped and blocked because I don't know what to do. I don't know what's the right move to make. I don't want to step in the wrong spot and make some kind of a mistake. And the blindfold again, meaning there's something here that I don't see. I don't have all of the information available to me. And that is making me unsure of what to do and what's the right thing to do. And it's what's got me stuck and grinding on it. Now, this could also be because it is showing up in your person's energy, that they're stuck grinding on another connection that they have. They've got a choice here between two people. They've got options and choices, and they're communicating lovey-dovey with somebody. And it looks like they're sneaking around doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing, have some sort of an opportunity that's not fair, not just. Central for your person's energy, Aries, Queen of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. This is wife type of an energy here. Doesn't necessarily mean legally married wife, although it can mean that. I've got Ten of Pentacles over here. The King and the Queen of Pentacles build the Ten of Pentacles. I've got the Hierophant over here. Could be a case where you're married to this person. Could also be a case that this person is married to someone else, and maybe you're feeling betrayed here because they were in a committed relationship and they've been talking lovey-dovey to you. Take it however that applies to you. It could be two completely different versions of the same story here, but we got wife energy here central for them. Tell me more about that Queen of Pentacles, please. Why is that the central energy for Aries person? Below the surface of that, judgment. Passing a final verdict in judgment. This is the most powerful decision card. It's dead and over with. Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy. It's supposed to be generosity and reciprocity, like you scratch my back, I scratch your back, we take care of each other. This is supposed to be equal give and take and balance. Doesn't seem very balanced. The other meaning to this card is the Merchant here, giving to two people in the physical sense, and notice one of them is behind his back, kind of like tucked away and hidden. I got juggling two people here. I've got the other, like the hot queen out here. Birth of something new. Looking pretty obvious that there's another person in the mix. Yeah, and right behind that is the Tower. The collapse of some important structure in their lives. This is the moment where everything falls apart. It all comes crashing down. Nothing's the same after the Tower. Yeah, and after that Tower moment, Two of Wands. Another two. I'm getting a lot of twos, a lot of decision cards. This is a fork in the road. It's a crossroads in their life. It's a decision point about what is it I really want my life to be like, and which of these two paths is going to get me to that. But you can't turn left and right at the same time. Just kind of what this card is about. This is about having to pick a path and leave the other path behind. When I clarify Queen of Pentacles, I get Three of Wands, the Emperor, and the Page of Pentacles. Three of Wands is the card that comes right after that Two of Wands. This is Aries energy of essentially waiting. At this stage, the path has already been chosen. I know what I want. I've already chosen the path. I've already started taking steps down the path. And I fully believe that the thing I want is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet, and I'm kind of waiting on it to show up. It's sitting right beside this really frustrating, I wanted it yesterday, and I'm getting the slow drip kind of an energy. Next, I get the Emperor, Aries Major Arcana card, control, taking charge, putting together the plan. Notice how suddenly I'm over here yawning over and over again. This person has got something fishy going on here. They're draining me. This is your Major Arcana card, but this is them being in control. I'm waiting here, and I'm in control of the ending. I think they're waiting to end it at some stage here. Normally, this goes chronological order for me. Not always, but most of the time, like the first column is something that's already happened, and the closer I get to the end, it's like the more current we're getting here. So this is looking like at some stage, they'd already made their decision, but they were just waiting to enact it, I guess. Next, we have the Page of Pentacles, which can be news, messages, and communications about this physical opportunity, which is also tied to communications about lovey-dovey stuff. It's also an energy of someone who has this early stage plan for their future, and it's not fully developed all the way yet. That plan looks like it is about a connection or a choice about your connection. I've got both planning cards in a row here. And waiting. Final card for your person, Aries. Man, they're hammering me here. I got the Devil and the Four of Wands. The Devil is the Capricorn Major Arcana card. This is the other energy of control. There's two of them in a tarot deck, the Emperor and the Devil. I've got both of them in your person's energy. The Emperor is about being in control, and the Devil is about something else having control over them, to where like that they're not in control of it. It's running the show, not them. This can be obsession with something, an addiction to something, can be a feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like there's something that they can't escape from, they can't break free from it, and they don't have any control over it. When I have the Devil and the Emperor, that's usually someone, oh my goodness, someone who's not really in control, but they kind of put up the front that they are. They put up this, they wear the mask of being in control, when in reality, there's a piece inside them that they're not in control of. And a lot of times, that kind of a person will overcompensate for that. And they'll try to be like controlling, they'll cross the line into from being in control to being controlling. Maybe they try to control you. Maybe they try to control the situations and the other people around them. They try to control the circumstances on how things are going to go. Looks like they may, yeah, they've got a new cup of love here in this column and an ending, but they've also got a combined together life, looks like, with you. Next, we have the Four of Wands. This is Aries energy. Fours are stability. This is stability of the home, the family. Oh my goodness, the connection between the two of you. This is another one of those cards that gets referred to as a marriage card a lot. So I've got the Hierophant, the Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. Literally the only card that I would consider related to marriage that I'm missing is the King of Pentacles. You're showing up out here as wife type energy, or the person that I'm building my life around kind of energy. I don't see King of Pentacles anywhere. In fact, now that I'm looking, I don't see any kings on the table at all. I did see King of Wands a couple of times buried below the surface, but no king actually out here. Why is the Devil and Four of Wands the final card for Aries person here in December 2025, please? Below the surface of the Devil and the Four of Wands, Five of Swords. That was your very first card. Aquarius energy, conflict, betrayal, winning at all costs mentality. The betrayal. Right behind it is the Ace of Wands, the phallic symbol, passionate new beginning. New beginning and passion and desire. And that's what they're putting their working on. Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy of work. Putting in the work, time, effort, and energy to get what I want. The Fool. The first card of the whole tarot deck. This is a legitimate new beginning at something where I'm just taking the blind leap of faith. I'm going to put my effort into this passionate new beginning. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to figure it out as I move along. This can also represent foolish behavior, foolish decision making, taking an unnecessary risk or a risk outside of the connection. Clearly what's going on here. When I clarify the Devil and the Four of Wands, I get the World, the Nine of Swords, and the Hermit. The World is the final card of the major arcana. We just saw the first card in the Fool. This is the complete cycle. This is the ending of one cycle, and at the same time, the beginning of the next cycle, where I'm going to be starting back over at the beginning at the Fool. I think the only thing that was left here is for the decision to actually be made, because it wasn't being made yet. There being a player in the background. This Knight of Wands, it gets called the player because it can be that person who tells you what you want to hear, but then they go off somewhere else and do the same routine there, and they run back and forth between two people, playing both people. It can also be someone who starts off really gung-ho about something, and then they change their mind, and then they change their mind again. I've got that flip-flopping back and forth kind of an energy here is the overall energy. I've got an internal conflict, two cards below that, where I can't quite make up my mind. Hell, I've got that same, you can't make this shit up. I got the Five of Wands and the Two of Pentacles right below that flip-flopping back and forth Knight of Wands kind of energy. So looking like somebody who can't really make up their damn mind about whether or not this is over and I'm starting something new, or whether I still have hope and want to hold on to it. Oh man, oh man. There's this idea of, I've got 3 cards in a row here that could mean travel. This is like I'm waiting to end it and start the next cycle here. Then I get 9 of Swords, Gemini energy of fear, worry, anxiety. This is thinking, it's worse than the 8 of Swords, which is thinking about something over and over again, but this is doing it with all this fear and worry behind the way they're thinking, and doing that to the point that it's stressful. This can be sleepless nights. I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. I'm having nightmares. I can't eat. It's mental anguish of some kind. Now, a lot of times, this would be a person being afraid that this sneaky, deceptive stuff I'm doing, that these messages, that the options and choices that I have, I'm going to get found out, and I'm worried and fearful about that. At the same time, trying to maintain control over the ending. Now, this could be a spot where this person has been doing stuff they're not supposed to be, and they already have this plan for the future about ending this and leaving, but it needs to happen on their time frame and not your time frame. And this could be them worried that they're going to get caught and worried that things are going to be out of their control in terms of the ending. I get the Hermit next, which is the 9 excuse me, of the major arcana. Got the 9 of Wands out here, the 9 of Swords out here, the 9 of Cups out here. No 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is single energy, like physically single. I don't have them physically single yet. And I'm wondering if this has actually even come to light already, or if this is something that's brewing in the background right now. The Hermit is withdrawal, isolation. This is usually communication shutting down. And if it hasn't shut down entirely, it's probably dramatically different than it used to be. Fewer and farther between. This is supposed to be soul searching, deep inner reflection, deep contemplation, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. It's looking directly at the plan for the future. It's just not a fully developed plan yet, because there's still this choice either about the connection with you or a choice about the other person, choice between 2 people. I get this card a lot when someone ghosts you, or when they leave you and you don't have any closure on the matter because they're not really telling you what's really going on. The only card I have over here by itself that's not in a full row is this 8 of Swords, this Gemini energy of thinking in circles and going over it again and again and again, because I'm not really sure what to do and I don't want to make a mistake. And I'm feeling stuck. And that is in the same row over here with this new physical opportunity that shows up in this unfair, unjust thing. And I don't want to make a mistake. I'm probably worried of getting caught, worried of not being in control anymore. But then there is this element to it of, I can't really contain this. I can't really control it. Something else has control over me. One card on your side that's got nothing to go with it is this Page of Cups, the lovey-dovey messages, the expressing of feelings, the early stages of like talking about some new cup of love here, which again looks like it's happening behind your back. Very clear that there's another person involved. What's not clear to me is whether they have left yet, or whether that is the thing that's brewing in the background.